Welcome to the Lakers Spotlight. I'm your host, Justin Hoff. It's great to have you with us today. We're going to catch you up on everything that's been going on here at GVSU with men's and women's basketball, as well as the men's hockey team. And we have a can't-miss in-studio interview with Katie Taffler from the GVSU women's soccer team. Let's kick off the show by going on the hardwood with the men's basketball team. GVSU looked to find some consistency as they played Northwood on January 22nd. Let's check out the action.
The Northwood Timberwolves looking to upset the Grand Valley State Lakers in a GLIAC conference battle. Here's Pete Trammell, who gives the ball to Justin Ringler, who drives to the hoop and lays it in. Ringler would have a career night. Later first half, Torrey Brown drives to the bucket and gets it to drop. Lakers up 6-1 early on. Ringler makes it 9-3 with this pretty looking shot from beyond the arc. Everything would go in for Ringler on this night. Later first half, Jarrett Smith dishes to Nick West. West then gives it back to Smith as he knocks down the 16-foot jumper. The Lakers were now up 7. Next, Alex Erickson turns it over for the Timberwolves, and Pete Trammell goes in for the easy layup. Trammell showing some quickness. Then Wes Trammell finds Ringler in the lane, and Ringler finishes with ease. Good ball movement by the Lakers as Smith finds Ringler, and he takes it up strong and finishes it off glass. Then Ringler gives it to Pete Trammell, who drives in the lane with a runner, and it goes. Pete chipped in with 11 points on the night. How about a little brotherly love as West gets in on the action with a three-pointer? Then Brown makes a nice move into the paint and gets it to go. The Lakers would lead it at the break 30-23. Second half, Lakers would dominate as Ringler cuts into the lane and finishes with the left hand. Ringler had a career high 30 points as the Lakers would go on to win 66-46.
Coming off another impressive victory, the Lakers made it 4 straight victories by defeating Wayne State in a nail-biter 58-55 on January 24th. Then the Lakers had a 4-game road trip. They started out in the UP with 2 victories over Michigan Tech and Northern Michigan. Then they went south to play the number 1 ranked team in the country, Findlay, on February 5th, and came up just short, losing 69-62. They finished off the road trip at Hillsdale on February 7th, losing in overtime 86-83. Let's take a look at the current standings in the GLIAC Conference after 21 games for the Lakers. The Lakers currently are in 3rd place overall in the GLIAC at 10-6. Findlay remains undefeated on the season at 20-0 overall. They returned all 5 starters from last year and are a championship contender. The Lakers have an opportunity to possibly finish 2nd in the conference if they can string together some victories for the stretch run. Leading the Lakers in scoring after 21 games is Justin Ringler, averaging over 13 points per game. He is also leading the Lakers in rebounding at around 6 boards a game. The Lakers have 2 other double-figure scorers. They are Pete Trammell and Torrey Brown. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Lakers. Fortunately, the men return home for a 4-game stretch and will look to snap a 2-game losing streak against Northern Michigan on February 12th. Then they play Michigan Tech 2 days later. The matchup on February 19th against Lake Superior State promises to be a good one, as 2nd place could be on the line. From there, they play Saginaw Valley State at home. Then they finish out the month of February on the road, playing Wayne State and Northwood. The Lakers could end up winning their final 6 games, and it could go a long way in deciding if they're dancing come March. Now let's transition over to the women's team. The ladies look to stretch their winning streak to a remarkable 11 games as they played Northwood back on January 22nd.
The number 25 GVSU Lakers versus the Northwood Timberwolves. The Lakers enter this game at 13-2 overall and 9-1 in the GLIAC, while the Timberwolves are 11-4 overall and 7-3 during conference play. Early first half, Kara Crawford's 18-foot jumper is good to give the Lakers their first points of the game. Next possession for the Lakers, Biz Van Tiffelen rings it up from downtown. Van Tiffelen can shoot it. Errant pass here, but Kim Weingard picks it up and takes it in for the hoop. Weingard shows her toughness. Jasmine Padine nearly loses the basketball here, but then recovers. Then she passes it to Weingard, who goes in for the layup and one. She would later miss the free throw. Then Northwood's Rachel Church misses a three-pointer, and Van Tiffelen picks up the rebound, then gives it off to Padine, who is looking to push it. Padine goes to the basket, then kicks it to Lauren Burrish, then Burrish to Kelly Kretz, who drives the lane only to find a wide-open Van Tiffelen, who fills it up from the corner. Van Tiffelen putting on a clinic. Lakers would add on here. Crawford kicks it to Emma Veach, and Veach hits the three-pointer. Those were her first points of the night. Lakers now down 9 in the first half. Veach gets in the lane and throws it off the window, and it's good. Veach showing an inside-outside presence. GVSU still trying to come back. Weingard dishes to Jocelyn Ingram. Ingram for three. That puts the Lakers back within 2 with 8:38 left in the first. Lakers would regain the lead here as Weingard goes in for the layup. No good, but the putback is down. Second half now, Kretz to Padine. How about a three-pointer? Padine puts it up and off the glass. She made that with 1 second left on the shot clock. Wow. Here's Padine again as she dribble drives into the paint and lays it in off glass. That put the Lakers up 2 with 29 seconds left. Here's Northwood. Jody Ostergren loses the basketball and Veach picks it up. Veach gets fouled here and has a chance to extend the lead at the free throw strike. Veach at the line, she makes the first one. And the second one is good as well. Lakers up 4. Then Northwood would score, then Padine gets fouled and makes the first to put the Lakers up 3. The next one could ice the game and Padine did it. Northwood now down 4 and would be forced to throw up a desperation heave by Rachel Church, and no good as Veach picked it up and the Lakers go on to win it. This pushed the Lakers' winning streak to 11 games as they improved to 14-2 on the season with a 68-64 victory.
From there, the Lakers picked up their 12th straight victory by defeating Wayne State on January 24th. Then the Lakers had to travel on the road for a 4-game set. It was a tough stretch for the young Lakers as they lost 3 of 4 games. Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan, and Hillsdale all dropped GVSU, although the Lakers did manage a victory against Findlay 71-70 thanks to a last-second shot made by Lauren Burrish. Let's check out the current GLIAC standings for the Lakers. The Lakers are tied for 3rd place right now with Northwood at 12-4 in conference play. Michigan Tech remains in 1st place after dropping their first loss in the GLIAC on February 7th to Ashland. That loss gave some hope for the Chargers of Hillsdale as they are now within 1 game of 1st place. A tough season is taking place for the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals this year at 1-15 in the GLIAC and 2-19 overall. Leading the Lakers in scoring is freshman Emma Veach at just over 14 points per game. Second on the team in scoring is Kim Weingard with 13.3 points a game. Biz Van Tiffelen leads the Lakers in rebounds at just over 7 a game. What's ahead for the Lakers? Well, let's see how the regular season finishes with their upcoming schedule. The ladies will look to get back to their winning ways on February 12th as they play Northern Michigan for the first of 4 straight home games. Then Michigan Tech comes into town on the 14th. These 2 games will have a huge impact on where GVSU ends up in the conference this year. Then they play 2 winnable games against Lake Superior State and Saginaw Valley State, then finish out the regular season by traveling to Wayne State and Northwood. This Northwood game could be pivotal for their NCAA tournament chances. No matter how this season finishes up, the Lakers have opened a lot of eyes in the GLIAC and will have something to say about who finishes atop the GLIAC for years to come. Now let's go to the men's hockey team. The Lakers took on the Bulldogs of Ferris State on January 23rd and 24th and picked up 2 victories to bolster their winning streak to 4 games. Then the Lakers had to take on crosstown rival and number 1 ranked Davenport University. The Panthers won on January 30th at home 5-2. Then Grand Valley had an opportunity to avenge the loss the following night.
GVSU taking on the Davenport University Panthers in a GMHL battle. First period, Davenport with a shot on net. Great save by Grant Lyon, and he would have more. Right here, Davenport gets a couple more shots on net, and Lyon makes some nice saves, especially this last one from Kevin Doyle. After the play, Jordan Duff and Adam Johnson get into it in front of the net. More physical play to come. Midway through the first period, Davenport gets on the board with a deflection by Jonah Rogowski in front of the net. That would put the Panthers up 1-0. Let's see if the Lakers could recover. Second period now, Lakers still looking for their first goal. Goaltender Eddie Wheeler with some great saves. Things got a little chippy in the crease though. Wheeler would get into it with a couple Lakers players. Most notably, Stu McLean, who comes in right about now as Wheeler face masked McLean. Wheeler got a game misconduct and was headed to the locker room, but he didn't go there quietly. Wheeler and McLean not done yet. I'm guessing they're not exchanging phone numbers here. Wheeler sharing his thoughts to the camera.
We might have a chance now, man. Good luck next year, Grand Valley.
Backup Chris Josiak would take over netminder duties for the Panthers. Could he keep the Lakers scoreless? Still in the second period, Davenport on the power play as they get a shot from the point by Jeff Kramer, and he scores to put the Panthers up 3-0 over the Lakers. Lakers get a quality scoring chance here by Danny Thomas as he drives the net, but a great play by Joswiak. 30 seconds later, Thomas and the Lakers would get another scoring chance, but Joswiak was as solid as a rock and not letting anything by on this night. GVSU's Thomas was frustrated on that play. Ensuing frustration in the third period as Duff and Rick Gadwa tangle gloves as the referees try to separate the two. And then Gadwa gets a little crafty as he uses his helmet as an extension of his arms. Doink, and Duff goes down. Both players would get game misconducts and would be done for the night. Duff not exactly happy about the cheap shot from Gadwa. Late third period now, Andy Dykstra with a big hit on Tom Dowell. Jake Vaughn telling Dowell, "You just got jacked up," as Britt Oilette didn't like the words of encouragement, but in the end, Davenport went on to win 4-0 over the Lakers. We're here with Matt Meringue after a tough loss to Davenport tonight. Talk about this game. Came out early, really looked good, and then midway through the first period there, Davenport seemed to pick it up and got some shots on the net, and they went in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we really just been working on playing 60 minutes at a time, and last night we took them to it. And, I mean, yeah, they got a couple fluke goals at the end, but the score didn't show the game. And tonight it was just the same thing, only they buried their chances and we didn't.
All right, what's that like now, playing Davenport 4 times this season and coming up on the short end every time? I mean, you guys have come out there and played hard, but just hasn't gone your way.
To be honest, every game that we played against them, we've improved. Even though we lost 4-0 tonight, we didn't put up any goals. We learned from each time, and to be honest, it really doesn't matter until nationals to us. We have everything to win, and they have everything to lose.
With that loss to Davenport, the Panthers swept the season series 4-0. Davenport is the defending 2008 ACHA National Champions, and the Lakers must find a way to beat them if they have any hopes of hoisting a trophy. Since that loss, the Lakers played in the Kennesaw State Invitational down in Atlanta, Georgia. The Lakers went 2-1 in the Invitational with wins over Liberty and Boston University. Their one loss came at the hands of Florida Gulf Coast. The Lakers currently stand at 18-10 overall this season. Leading the Lakers in points is forward Nate Meringue with 41, and his brother Matt leads the team in goals scored at 21. Let's see how the rankings look in the Central region. GVSU dropped to number 3 from the last ranking. Davenport and Michigan State are in the top spots, and both will have something to say in the national tournament come March. Speaking of the national tournament, it starts on March 17th. This year's tournament is hosted by GVSU, with games being played at the Georgetown Ice Center, with the championship game being played at the Van Andel Arena in downtown Grand Rapids on March 21st. The Lakers Spotlight will be there to bring you all the action. Let's take a look at the Lakers' upcoming schedule. The Lakers will look to rebound, and it all starts on February 12th against Oakland, and then later in the month against the Raiders of Wright State University. Both these games are important so the Lakers can get some victories before the GMHL tournament in early March. For more on the GVSU hockey team, check out their website at grandvalleyhockey.com.
All right, we're here with senior forward Katie Taffler from the GVSU soccer team. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
How's everything going?
It's good.
All right, Katie, you are originally from Mississauga, Ontario, and went to Cawthra Park High School. Start out talking about what made you first come to Grand Valley.
My team came down on a recruiting visit, and we were playing some of the college teams in the Midwest, and Grand Valley was one of the ones we played, and the coach got to see me, and so started recruiting me, and I just really loved the campus. It was close to home. School had a good reputation, and the athletic program seemed to be good, so I just kind of started to become interested then.
You weren't the only one from your team that came, and this is something I just noticed. The senior goaltender, Christina Nasturzio, also came. Talk about that decision, both of you coming. Was that an impact for you to come here?
For sure. Me and Christina have been friends since we were really little, actually, so I've known her all my life, and she was a little more certain that she wanted to come right away, and I was a little more hesitant. I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave my family and friends, but when she said she was going to commit, I really had a it was nice to know that I wouldn't kind of be alone. I'd have a friend there, so it was a big help for me.
Okay, now let's talk about the 2008 season as a whole. 22-1 overall. Started off number 3 in the nation. First game, beat Tampa Bay, won Tampa 1-0. They were the number 1 team at the time, and then that propelled you to be number 1, and you were virtually there all season. Talk about that first game. What was it like to beat Tampa, especially since they knocked you guys out the previous year on their way to the 2007 National Championship?
Yeah, it was a great way to start the season. We were all really excited. We had kind of something to prove. We thought we should have beaten them last year, and them being ranked number 1, we thought it would start the season out really well. So I think we were just really excited and really nervous as well to come play that game. But coming off with a win, it just started our season off great. But of course, we had to kind of put ourselves in check. It's only one game, and that number 1 ranking. As we know, we were ranked number 1 the last season. We didn't win, so we had to kind of again, just kind of bring ourselves down and get ready for the rest of the season.
All right, then from there, your team added 18 more victories to finish out the regular season play, undefeated for the second consecutive season, playing in a grueling GLIAC schedule. Talk about this year's perfect regular season, facing, Saginaw Valley State. You played them a lot, just a grueling schedule.
Yeah, this year I think our undefeated season meant a lot because we had to play for the first time. We played GLIAC teams twice, so they were able to see kind of what we had and our strategies and the way we played, and then come back the next game and kind of try to play to our strengths, and really they knew our weaknesses and we're trying to kind of play to those, and I think that was really hard, and the fact that we came back of all those games with wins really says something about the work ethic of our team. And a lot of those games, we scored in the last 3 minutes, the last minute, we had to push the whole 90 minutes. So it was a battle this season, and we really worked hard. But
all right, with those 2 undefeated regular seasons, you could almost make an argument, back-to-back perfect season. GVSU soccer team is one of the best programs the past 2 years in college sports in its entirety, really. Not many teams go undefeated like that. What do you think about saying that? Top overall?
I definitely think that the soccer program here is amazing. The last 4 years we've gotten better every year, and the last 2 seasons being undefeated, that's amazing. And I think it really says something about the coaching staff, the administration, just the whole athletic program here, and the recruiting. Recruiting really talented girls, and also girls that get along with each other and have such great team chemistry. So I definitely think Grand Valley Soccer is one of the best programs.
Okay, after that, the regular season, you guys went into the GLIAC and the GLIAC tournament and won the championship for that, then moved on to the NCAA tournament, and then everything came to an end on a cold Friday in November as the Lakers lost to Wisconsin Parkside in the Midwest Regional Championship game, 1-0. Something I'm sure you don't really necessarily want to talk about, but it's something we have to talk about. What exactly didn't go right in that match?
The match was just a hard game. It was cold outside. There was snow on the ground. It was the next step, and like if we had won that game, we would kind of be shuttled into the tournament playing teams we hadn't ever played before, which was really exciting for us. So we really wanted to get out of that region, and I think we weren't expecting to win the game. We were confident, of course, but we came out, we were playing hard, and we might not have clicked all the lines together. Everything might not have gone right. We had a lot of chances in front of the net that we just didn't put away, which was actually something that plagued us all season. But soccer is a game like that. You can be the best team and you can dominate, but that one fluky goal that they scored and us not putting away all the chances we had just ended up with a loss, and it was pretty, devastating because we knew we were a better team, but there's not much more you can say about that.
Do you think at all were too confident for this game and possibly overlooked it to get further down?
You know what, I think there is a little bit of a feeling now in our team, because we've done so well all these years, that I think there might be a little undertone of people expecting us to make it, farther, and especially with the younger girls who maybe aren't as aware of the hard work that went into making this program where it is now and putting us on the map. So I think there was a little bit of feeling, but we had so many upperclassmen, and we made it through the whole season fighting through games. So as much as we thought we could make it there, I think we were really realistic about the hard work that we would have to put in.
For you as a senior, knowing that was your last game, do you play this game back in your mind over and over again?
You know what, I don't. It's funny because you'd think I would play it over and over again and really obsess about it, but I don't remember the game. I play the game when I'm out there and I focus on it while I'm out there, and when I'm off the field, I look at how I played, but other than that, I don't remember, specific things. I remember their goal, and, that is the one thing I probably played back in my head the most. If I had just, turned around quicker, saw she was putting the ball down, but, there's no point because, I can't do anything about it now. So I remember the last couple minutes of the game and freaking out because I never thought we would lose, and knowing it's the last time I'd ever play on the field. So that was it was upsetting, but I think I've kind of come to terms with it now.
Yeah, you talk about those last couple minutes. It seemed as a spectator there that everything was just in slow motion, but that game was just not going to go your way. You just were not going to win, but you could see the season falling apart before your own eyes there. Did it hit you after the horn sounded that your career was over as a Laker?
Yeah, it hit me just like a brick wall. I had no, even though I knew that, we could lose, I don't think I ever really was ready to accept it. And it was just I was just in total shock. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go next. So it was definitely a hard time.
Talk about this loss. Sure was a rarity, especially at home. Just how much you ask at home. Well, it was the first time under Coach Dave Diani the Lakers were shut out in a home game, and the first time GVSU had lost at home dating back to September 4th, 2005, which was your freshman season. And this was also only the second loss in the last 46 matches, so that just shows right there. As for Parkside, they went on to lose 2 days later at GVSU, and the eventual crown went to Seattle Pacific as the 2008 national champion. Now let's go to a few season stats for the Lakers from the 2008 season. For your team, set an NCAA Division II record for most shutouts by a team in one season with 19. Outscored opponents 75-5 and outshot opponents 515-106 during the season, which are both remarkable, really. Now, after hearing all that and having a few months pass by, looking back on this season, what are your thoughts?
I think that it just taught me a lot about what it takes really to get to that next level and be a champion. And we got so close my sophomore year and even last year. And this year, we didn't quite make it as far as we wanted to. But I think we had so much talent, so much team chemistry. We worked so hard. So I think it just I don't have any regrets because I think we did a great job and I had fun and we worked hard, but it kind of shows like to get to that national championship level, it's just so much respect for those teams that have done that because it just takes an amazing team, an amazing group of people. So I mean, we struggled through this season, you know, coming together as a team. We struggled a little bit with team chemistry at the beginning, but we made it through games and we played 90 minutes every game to win against these teams that, you know, were dying to beat the number one team in the country. And so I'm really proud of getting through this season undefeated. And, you know, I think we were just unlucky in that last game. It didn't come together for us, but we worked hard. I don't think we have anything to feel bad about.
You talk about that being number one all season. Obviously, each and every team that came to play you guys, you knew they were going to get the best effort. What's that like?
It's fun actually having that target on your back and knowing that, you know, this game can make their entire season and like just kind of wanting to like not give them that and just to show them why we are better than them because, you know, you can talk as much as you want about being number one ranked, but it actually doesn't mean anything if you don't play like it. So I actually enjoyed it. It was fun.
All right, now one more question in particular about this season. A dynamite trio was formed up front with yourself, Irie Dennis, and Ashley Elsass. You three combined to tally up 48 goals, 35 assists, and 131 points amongst each other. What was that like to play with both those girls?
I mean, as a forward, you're not going to score and you're not going to be successful if the people around you aren't, you know, supporting you and aren't good players. So being able to play with two other forwards that are just, you know, dynamic and really amazing is just so much fun and it makes my job so much easier. So I think this year was the first year that we really clicked, the three of us together, supporting each other and giving each other assists and making plays. So it was really fun.
All right, the recap of your season or your career records-wise for the past 4 years. Back in 2005, you guys reached the quarterfinals. 2006, national runner-up, second place overall. 2007, go down the Final Four, and then as we talked about, 2008, lose in the Midwest Regional Championship game. The senior class, including yourself, along with Megan Robinson, Christina Nasturzio, Ashley Elsass, Colleen Hilgard, Joyce Rose, Jamie Radley, and Elena Sobolich, finished your GVSU careers with a record of 81-7-2, which is a .911 winning percentage. Talk about your days with that number winning percentage, but talk about the senior class as a whole playing with them.
Well, we came in 13 of us, and there's 8 of us left here graduating. So, like that's a big group for soccer coming in, and so we all got so close, you know, in freshman year, and being able to play with those girls, you know, I think is one of the reasons why our team was so successful because we all liked each other so much that we enjoyed playing with each other, and our team chemistry really showed on the field. And you know, these girls are my teammates, and they're my best friends, and we were able to support each other, and I think that's another reason why we've all had so much fun in this program and winning, you know, that much, like it's every athlete's dream, like everybody wants to win. So being part of this program, being able to play with these girls and be so successful has just been a great experience.
Okay, now it's time for the fun stuff, individual honors. A lot of them you picked up. Let's go through some stats. First, I'll name off a few awards you collected later down here, but first off, let's go to the stats. 2005, 25 goals, 8 assists, 58 points as a freshman. 2006, 33 goals, 7 assists, 73 points. 2007, remarkable season, 36 goals, 13 assists, 85 points. And this was your best season statistically. You had 6 hat tricks during the 2007 season, and at one time scored in 11 consecutive matches. Wow, you know, saying that right there. And then 2008, some people could say, you know, a down year for you statistically, but with those other players contributing, you still had a successful season. 20 goals, 13 assists, and 53 points. Career numbers, a lot of numbers to add up here. 114 goals, 41 assists for 269 total points, 25 game-winning goals, 258 shots on goal in your career. You ranked third all-time in Division II history in both career goals and points. All-time GLIAC leader in goals, assists, and points. Also led GVSU in goals and points all 4 years playing. I mean, just a lot to say out there and amazing stats. What do you think when I rattle off all those numbers?
I mean, I can't help but be like proud and happy, and you know, that's that's why I was nervous coming to school in the States. I didn't know how I would play, how I would compete, and how talent-wise I would match up to the players here. And it's just been so much fun scoring. That's what I love to do. That's why I play soccer. And, you know, being on this team and having these great players around me to help me be successful and give me these stats, you know, it's just so much fun. And like that's the stuff that you can look back on now, and just that'll remind you and how much fun you had and how successful you were. It's not, you know, when we lost or which team beat us or anything, but it's that kind of stuff that I'll look back on and just be really, really happy with myself.
One word comes to mind when I was looking over these stats: speechless. You know, it's just, wow, how did you score that many goals? That's what I was always thinking when I saw you score, just your knack to score in and around the net. Are you surprised you had this much success individually?
You know what? I was kind of surprised. It was more that I just didn't know what to expect, though. I guess my freshman year, doing so well, it really kind of showed me what I was capable of, and, you know, kind of gave me a little bit of confidence to see what I would be able to do for the next seasons. And I really never thought after my freshman year that I'd ever be able to do that again. And it's almost like I didn't really know how I did it, but it's fun, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's because of the team and my coaches around me that I've been able to be so successful, and without them, you know, I never would have been able to do anything like that.
Going down, looking at all this stuff together, I say that you're one of the best athletes ever to play at Grand Valley. The numbers don't lie. Where do you think you stack up with the all-time greats here at GVSU, like Kurt Ains, quarterback, and David Kirkus, wide receiver, to mention a few?
I mean, football, obviously, at Grand Valley has been, along with other sports, have been so successful. And, you know, like football in America, that's the sport. And I'm just happy that the success that we've had with soccer has kind of, you know, when I first came to Grand Valley, lots of people didn't even know we had a varsity and a club team. They thought it was the same team, and nobody really paid attention. And, you know, as I've gone through, I've seen a lot of more people, you know, reading about us in the newspaper and realizing, coming to our games, and the more people attending games. So I don't know about how, you know, different sports, different athletes, and, you know, they can excel at different things. But, you know, if the success that I've had here has given us a little more of spotlight in Grand Valley athletics, and, you know, then I'm just happy for that.
A question about Coach Dave Diani. We went this long without talking about him, and it wouldn't be fair to not bring him up. He has a record that speaks for himself here with all the success he's had. What has he meant to you over the past 4 years?
Dave is just a great coach and a great guy. I mean, he's one of the main reason I came to Grand Valley, talking to him on the phone and him telling me about the school and what they had to offer, and just also being interested in who I was as a person. Like, I just felt so comfortable with him right away, and I'm so lucky to have had him, because he was such a great coach. I mean, I got so much better from my freshman year to my senior year, and him helping me develop into the person I am. And I'm just really happy that I've had him as a coach and a friend, and I'm sure that we'll continue to keep in touch throughout my life and career. And it's just, when you put so much time into something like we athletes do, and you're in a varsity sport, it's just great to have really supportive people around you, and he was definitely that person for me.
Okay, down the road, when you look back at this, you talked about it earlier, how will you sum up your time spent here at GVSU, both academically and athletically?
I would just say it was a lot of hard work, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I mean, the people I've met and the things that I've done, going to Europe, playing soccer, and being ranked #1 team in the country, that's something a lot of people can't say. And I just had so much fun. It was a great experience, and I've just met so many people that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life, and my experiences here have really made me and prepared me to be the person that will make me successful after college. So it's just been incredible. Best
of luck to you in your career, and I'm sure the Lakers will continue having success, and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Next episode, we will continue to show you coverage of the men's and women's basketball teams, along with the men's GVSU hockey team. We are also going to have a special in-studio interview with the Meringue brothers, Matt and Nate, from the GVSU hockey team. We will also preview both the GVSU baseball and softball teams, which kick off their seasons in early March down in Florida. If you have any questions or comments, email us at LakersSpotlight@gmail.com. You can watch the Lakers Spotlight on Channel 10 here at the Grand Valley State University or on the web at lakersspotlight.blip.tv. For everybody here at the Lakers Spotlight, I'm Justin Hoff. As always, thanks for watching, and go Lakers.